Welcome all, this is Beers and Brews with Nerdy Dudes. Obviously your host, Ty. To my right, Kev, your left. And today we're going into James Gunn. He got reelected as the director of Guardians Volume 3. So we're going to dive into our thoughts, how we think he's going to do, how we think he's done. Do we think he should do other films? But Kev, start us off. Your thoughts.
To be honest with you, I never heard of James Gunn before Guardians. I never heard of Guardians.
Before Guardians.
Yeah, pretty much.
The movie.
But I think myself, as well as millions of other people, loved Guardians. So I love that he's doing obviously he's doing the second one, and from the trailers it looks hilarious. I think we're going to get another fantastic movie. For the third film, though, it's tough to say. I mean, you know, we've discussed it's always nice to have a fresh face, you know, just a brand new brain behind the behind the picture, behind the camera. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, he's done a solid job so far. So the third film could be another hit. I know we're still waiting for Guardians 2 to come out, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard positive things about it.
Yeah.
I just know from previous, trilogies, the third installment by the same director kind of gets a little stale. It's usually not as strong. And I had said earlier, the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, I don't know. Everybody has different opinions about it, but I don't think The Dark Knight Rises was as strong as the previous two films. And we all know that, with the Avengers films, Joss Whedon did, the first and second. And, to me, I don't think the second was as strong as the first. I mean, it was really hard to beat the first Avengers film. Yeah. I mean, that's might go down as the best superhero film of all time. So it's really tough to say because James Gunn, he has a vision, and he's really passionate about these characters and this, this Guardians world. And if he has a solid story, which I'm assuming he does. I mean, before this was even, Guardians 2 came out, it was, hey, he's doing a third, and everybody's like, there is going to be a third, and so it could be great. I mean, I'm really on the fence, to be honest with you. What do you feel?
I think that if a recipe works, you don't change it.
Mm-hmm.
Think Coca-Cola. Back in the day, they changed to their new Coke formula. Everyone hated it. They went back to their original formula.
Yeah.
Everyone loved them.
Thank God.
I think you need to keep him directing it because how fun, how energetic, and how different the Guardians movie was, the first one. I think the second one, through the trailers, is going to be amazing, just as funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think Drax, played by Dave Bautista, is going to have an amazingly funny
gonna
role.
Steal it.
Yeah, I think he's going to completely steal it. And I can't wait to see this cast come together for a third one. I think they have great chemistry.
Completely agree with you.
So I think it's all going to add up. I say don't change the director.
Mm-hmm.
I say keep him as the director because I don't think it's smart to change it if it works.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I know you do have a valid point that with like the Dark Knight Rises trilogy, like Dark Knight trilogy, that the third movie wasn't as strong as it usually isn't as strong as.
Yeah.
But I think with the cast and how different this movie is, 'cause it's not a dark movie.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's very, well, I mean, dark movies are enjoyable, but like when you have a funny movie, they're more enjoyable.
They're fun films.
Yeah.
And it has everything. And you know what? After you were saying this, you've definitely convinced me. That it is smart to keep James Gunn on because he gets it. And I know we keep going back to The Dark Knight, but I remember after The Dark Knight came out and the success of The Dark Knight, they had approached Nolan and said, "Are you going to make a third one?" Because the second one was so
amazing.
And he said, if there's a good story, I'll do it. And then I mean, I don't know. I wasn't, a fly. I wish I was a fly on the wall with these conversations, but I feel like it made so much money. He could have saw dollar signs and thought, okay, I'll pump this last one out and we'll call it a trilogy and that'll be that. But if James Gunn, maybe he had a plan, I don't know, this whole time, and he thought to himself, I can make this a trilogy. I can already see it now. I know exactly where I'm going to go from the first to the second to the third. And like I said, he he obviously loves these characters and loves this story. So
I mean, who doesn't?
now I'm changing my mind. You know what? Screw it. Keep them on. I think it's smart to at this point.
Well, listen, I think he's devoted to it.
Yeah.
I think when you have directors that do 2 or 3 movies within a trilogy, sometimes they just do it for the money. Sometimes like, okay,
yeah,
my first movie's made a ton. I'll just do this last one and I'll go on to a new project. Because directors want something new. They want something different. But Guardians is just, like I said, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
With fun characters, and it's a great time.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's pulling teeth going and directing these films.
Yeah.
It's a good time. You're making a product that everyone loves. You turn this comic book series that no one knew about into this global phenomenon because it's so popular now.
Yeah.
So he's doing something right.
Yeah.
He put all this effort into the first one, and he's probably happy that he changed the Guardians of the Galaxy from just like comic nerds from knowing it to everyone knowing it. It's mainstream now.
Yeah. I like to think that he's really excited about this too. You know, because thinking back to Joss Whedon and when he was directing Age of Ultron, I know there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He was just burnt out.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He was just exhausted. He was tired, and I just think it was just a challenging task to just complete the movie. And at the end of it, I know there was, you know, him and I don't know if it was Kevin Feige or what, but other, you know, bigwigs at Marvel and Disney, whatever, you know, they weren't really seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
So I think it was just kind of a nice. It was a much needed split.
Yep.
But shit, if James Gunn is pumped and he's excited for this, then absolutely keep him on.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Could you see him directing any other Marvel films? Maybe not ones they have now, but future characters that haven't been set for a movie yet.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Any
I mean, I think
particular?
he's definitely proven himself.
I agree.
I mean, to take, you know, I just, we've said this about Marvel before, in that there's a lot of these characters such as Ant-Man and Doctor Strange that not everybody knows. You know, they're not as familiar as Spider-Man and Batman and Superman, but they just have the formula. They have the right team that knows how to make the viewers care about these characters that not everybody's familiar with. And James Gunn took a series like Guardians, which from what I believe was, I don't know if it was in the 60s or 70s it came out, and then they revamped it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the movies are based off, you know, I don't know if I'm correct, somebody can comment and correct me, but I think this movie series is based off of the revamping.
Yeah.
Because I think the original was kind of, I hate to use the word, but goofy in a sense. But yeah, I mean, if he's pumped, I wouldn't take him away from it. If he's just like, guys, like I have this awesome idea, just roll with it.
Yeah, I think as long as the passion's there and the motivation's there, and it's not just for the money.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great movie as well.
Someone like him, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay.
Someone like him, he's a nerd, James Gunn, and that's awesome. You know, and that's what you need. And so that's why I don't think that it's for the money. You know, I think he just wants to put out a really good product because he loves it, and he just wants other, you know, viewers to really appreciate, you know, the story that he's trying to tell.
Which you can tell, because when I first saw Guardians, wasn't in theaters. I've always wanted to see it. It was just a movie that was on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I was bored one day on Xbox. I was like, you know what? Let me go buy Guardians of the Galaxy. I've always wanted to see it, and it was the best decision I made in my life. Because that whole time, like, I am so glad I had this movie purchased on my Xbox, because I'm going to watch this over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had no clue who directed it. Like I said, you know me, I'm not good with actors, directors, whatever. But it blew my mind of how well the movie was done. So, hats off to him.
I remember seeing Guardians. I did see it in theaters, and I remember leaving just thinking, that was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was entertaining from beginning to end. It could be one of my. It's definitely my top 5 favorite Marvel films in this Marvel movie universe.
It's just funny because as a wrestling fan, watching Dave Bautista as Drax is mind-blowing.
Because his sense of humor is so dry, but it works.
It works perfectly for the Drax character.
He is.
And like, if you watched him in wrestling, like he was like when he first started, he was very dry. Like mic skills was terrible. So like this role where he doesn't talk much, but like his dry sense of humor kicks in. It's perfect.
Because he's so obvious with everything.
Yeah.
He's just so naive. Whoever the casting director was for Guardians, like everybody.
Well, I feel like Marvel, like the films
Yeah.
in general, they have great casting.
Get their shit together.
They
that's for
have
sure.
a lot, like everyone, whether it's their Netflix series, their movies,
Mhm.
everything is just on point. Like I couldn't imagine Robert Downey Jr. not being Iron Man.
I don't know.
I couldn't. He plays the perfect part for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like perfect.
They got their shit together. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, so I mean, I guess is that a good place
Yeah.
to wrap up?
That's our talk about James Gunn.
Yeah. So
He's-
let us know what you think.
Yeah.
You know, do you think they should kick him to the curb and get somebody new, or screw it and keep the guy on for
Keep
two
the
more
recipe
films?
rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, you know where I stand, and
You know where I did stand, and now I stand in a new spot because you convinced me otherwise. Thanks, man.
I got you.
Appreciate that.
But as always, thank you for watching. Like Kev said, let us know your thoughts. Follow us on the social. I'm not going to list them all now, but you'll see them at the end of the video. And enjoy your night.